This is a place for you to share and gain insight on how to succeed and better serve more families in this rapidly changing marketplace. This is FDTV.
Hello and welcome to another edition of FDTV. Today's discussion is going to be heavily influenced by something I think that's on everyone's mind right now. In this day and time, it's the global pandemic of the COVID-19 coronavirus. And today we have with us once again Mr. Chris Seal, President and CEO of Funeral Directors Life. Welcome, Chris.
Thanks, Rob. It's great to be here.
Chris, you and I were just talking about how, with all the media and everything that the public has been consuming in recent days, it's kind of got everybody confused and a little bit afraid. Do you have some thoughts on that?
Absolutely, Rob. I mean, this has been a situation, obviously, that we've been tracking because we've been seeing, a lot of misinformation come out and a lot of distorted information. Sometimes it's difficult to decipher what's true and what's not. And so I think I've been in this for a while and reading and researching and trying to determine what's the best route to go. And at some points, you're very concerned. I mean, I was actually upset and angry at one point. I've been frustrated like crazy. But I think I've really developed some ideas now and things that we should focus on. Because, again, I turn to, for example, the Apostle Paul, where Paul is talking to Timothy. And he tells Timothy, he says, "For God gave us not a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of self-control." So I look at that and I say, okay, if God didn't give us a spirit of fear, then who gives us that spirit of fear? And the only way I can see, the only person I can see who does that is the devil or Satan or the enemy, whatever you want to call it, but bringing that spirit of fear to us. And I think that's what we've seen over the past several weeks is this spirit of fear going on in the markets. You see the stock market falling 3,000 points or falling 2,000 points and then popping back, 700 or 800 points. It's just been up and down and up and down. And it seems to me that that's all driven by fear. You see people going to the grocery store and cleaning it out of toilet paper and water and hand sanitizer and all this. And I understand the hand sanitizer. Trust me, man. They don't know exactly all the ramifications of this particular virus, and we want to take every precaution we can, but I don't think we want to live our lives in fear. I think there's a difference between looking at fear and looking at faith, and also it's having wisdom as well. So you're wise making choices to ensure that you're not following through, or you are following through with the things that the CDC and our government is talking about and recommending. But by the same token, you also have faith that God is still in control. And that's what I gather a lot of strength from and a lot of encouragement from, is that God is really in control here. So what I'm trying to do is figure out, okay, how can we take that fear and turn it into something positive? And so I think that's what we've been doing here at our office, is trying to individualize what's going on rather than coming out with blanket policies for every person. Every person has a different tolerance for different things, and yes, their concern or worry or some fear factor is involved in everybody. So I don't want to judge that. I don't want to be a person or a company that judges that fear. I simply want to be someone who is an encourager, who brings back normalcy, who helps to, once this thing ends, and we know it will. Because again, throughout history, Rob, we've seen a lot of different things happen over time. I know we've been through things. We've survived those things. What we've got to do is we've got to have level heads in this and say, okay, we're working on this. We're taking the precautions. We're doing what our government and the governmental authorities are telling us are necessary. But we're also using some common sense with what we're doing and allowing our people and our funeral homes and the people we work with, we're allowing them to make decisions that best fit their situation.
Talk a little bit about the employee concerns that you've been hearing.
Yeah. I walked around last Friday just to get a feeling, as I do on occasion. I'll walk around and talk to employees and try to get their feelings about what they're thinking. I didn't really sense any dramatic situations that we had to be concerned about. But we did have a meeting and discuss with our executive team and discuss, what may go on, what may occur. And with schools being closed, and now we got word today that our Wiley Independent School District and Abilene School District here have now shut down for the remainder of the school year. So that's new news. And again, every day, Rob, we're getting new news. So we're having to take that new news and figure out how we're going to handle it. But one of the discussions we've had was, okay, so how many of our employees are going to be affected by schools closing? Because daycares are closed as well and such. And so we've got to be concerned about our people and them taking care of their own family. So we instead of coming out with a blanket policy, which again, I don't think that's the best idea. Mm-hmm. I think the best idea is to individualize it. If someone is having an issue, then great. I hope they have confidence enough in us to bring it to us. And then we are able to help them with their situation, because everybody's situation is different, So if a person needs to work from home, maybe we can help them with that. If someone can't work at home, maybe we can help them with time off and leave time. But what we want to do, and I think they want to be productive. I've got 100% trust in our people to tell us the truth about what's going on in their life. And if they need some assistance, and they've brought that to our attention, I don't know of a single time when we haven't helped that person. And this is another one of those times. And again, these are extraordinary times. But when stuff like this is going on, I think our people have enough faith in the decisions that we make and enough faith that we're going to assist people that they can come to us with those issues. So I think as we go forward, we continue to want to be aware of that we want to individualize how we take care of each employee that we have, rather than coming out with some blanket policy. Everybody go home and work from home. I think that's a bad strategy, because here's my strategy. If we come out with anything, I'm going to say, I'm coming to the office, I'll make coffee. You guys come on up if you want to come up. Because I'm going to come here. This is what I'm used to. It's what I'm accustomed to. I keep my social distancing. That's our new term, right, in the United States, social distancing. I'll keep my social distancing. I'll wash my hands. I'll ensure that if I sneeze, I'm doing it in my elbow. All those things that the CDC and the government and such is telling us to do, I'm going to do all those things. And I encourage everyone else to do it as well. But I can come up here and come to work and feel like I'm in a safe and secure environment. And I think that's a lot of what our people feel. And if they want to do that, they'll know that I'm always going to be here. If any of them have an issue and feel like they need to work from home or take time off in order to get over this, to get past this situation, man, I'm all for it. So I don't think that we can judge each situation with one blanket solution. I think we have to look at each individual situation and make a wise determination of how to best help our people.
So what happens next, Chris, when it gets to that level where we don't have people working here in the office anymore?
Yeah. I do know if the government or authorities dictate that we don't show up here, personally, I'm going to use a little common sense with that. And as I said, I think there's essential personnel that will show up. In addition, we have this concept of working from home and or doing some rotational work that different, we can do this in shifts and people come up and do things. But I think that we'll never get away, for example, Rob, from paying death claims. And I understand right now that there are some insurance companies that have cut their staffs back, for example, to the bare minimum. And so trying to collect on their funeral homes, trying to collect, for example, from other insurance companies where an insurance policy is involved, they're having a lot of difficulty with that. It's taking a lot of time, and they can't get people on the phone, and it's taking a whole lot more time to process those claims. That's not the case with Funeral Directors Live. We're processing daily. Everything that comes in today gets processed today. And I'm telling you, that is an advantage for us. Now, if our staff's not around, again, we have enough people who have laptop computers and such that they can work from home. They're going to be able to do that. Because remember this, Rob, we've been paperless since 2001. So we have the opportunity from anywhere in the world to be able to access files and data and information. So we can play whether or not they take away the toys here at the office. We can play at home. We can play in a hotel somewhere else. The fact of the matter is we're set. We're set for any type of disaster. We have what we call a disaster relief plan that it can help us in any situation. This is one situation. What worries us more is tornadoes. What happens if a tornado hits our building? We have a plan for if a tornado hits our building. I don't know if you knew that or not, but we have a plan. We have a plan no matter what. We say, well, what happens if something happens and, hurricane force winds here and just blow everything off here? We have a plan, because guess what? We don't have any paper. So we've been able to save our data and save our information in different places across the United States. So if something happens, we have immediate access and can be up and running within hours. So, those are things we have planned for. It's called enterprise risk management. And we've taken that very seriously over the past few years. And it's helped us to set up plans and to have ideas about how to handle things. Did we ever think there would be a pandemic? No, we never did. That wasn't really part of our plan. But when we saw it happening, we started developing our ideas and thoughts about how we could handle it. So we can take care of our customers can take care of the families, and we can take care of our employees. And that's what's the most important thing, Rob, because as a leader, I have to care for the people who've been entrusted to me, right? I mean, that's what Paul said. He said, he was talking to Timothy, you need to take care of those people that have been placed in your care. And that is what we're trying to do, is to ensure that we care for not just our employees, but we care for our customers and the families that are all part of what we do here at Funeral Directors Live.
Chris, I want to dig a little deeper with this too, because you're the president and CEO of an organization in the funeral industry that's kind of regarded as an influencer, a thought leader. And Funeral Directors Live serves so many different types of people. You've got shareholders, you've got, but you also have policyholders, and you have, your executive team and your sales team and a staff of hundreds. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I think a lot of people in the industry, colleagues, are looking to you. They're looking to see, they've got an eye on what you've got going on. What are some thoughts that you have regarding that influence?
Well, I appreciate that, Rob. I tell you, what I really think is it's better to take a look at our company and where we are and what we're thinking at this moment. Because I've done a lot of soul searching, as you can imagine, over the last several weeks as we made the decision, for example, to reschedule our incentive contest, our incentive trip that was scheduled for May. And so we've decided to reschedule that for a year from now so that we're ensured of being through this process. The thing I've taken a hard look at is what we should do, because you see a lot of companies like shutting down manufacturing. I heard today, for example, General Motors and Ford have shut down their manufacturing. Obviously, that affects a lot of employees. The deal is we don't understand fully the chain reaction that occurs when one thing occurs, like you shut down restaurants and bars and such. Well, then those people are not capable of buying cars, you see. So there's a chain reaction to what goes on. And again, I'm not criticizing those businesses. I mean, they have to do what they feel like is right. We're going to do something a little different. So we're a company that for years has had success. We've had income every year that I've been here for 35 years. We've had a net income. Sometimes it's better than others, but we've always had a net income every year. Also, something that I tell our people all the time is we've been building our capital and surplus for years. And we build our capital and surplus for events like this. When certain things happen that go awry and we need that surplus to take care of us through a period, we have it available. So we're not having to lay off people. Not even thinking about that. I'm thinking about growing. In fact, I interviewed a person this morning. And I think it's important that we continue to figure out how to grow our business, to have a positive dialogue with our customers and with potential policyholders. And what I mean by that, we're discussing how we can use innovation to help us. I mean, people are at home, right? I mean, they've been asked to stay at home in a lot of different areas across the United States. So what we're trying to do is figure out how can we better meet with these people? How can we introduce something new like an online contract? How can we do Facebook Live and do a seminar? How can we take a look at taking our Digicon project that we have, our Digicon contracting system, and allow families to look in and see what we're doing, maybe even doing FaceTime or doing some type of video conferencing with families, so that our salespeople and select producers and sales professionals across the nation can continue a dialogue with people. So this introduces an opportunity for us not to take advantage, but to at least present an opportunity to a family. And that's what we're trying to do. With our funeral homes, we're trying to offer up some ideas. For example, today, we came up with an idea that's going to come out at the end of this week about offering to funeral homes a free opportunity to have Passari collaboration, so that they can have a online collaboration with families versus having face-to-face if families are concerned about coming in. We think those are really innovative ideas, and that's why we have a company like Passari. That's why we have a product like Digicon. That's why we have ideas with Facebook that we're doing and social media marketing that we're doing, because those don't involve big groups coming together. So again, I think if we get creative in this time and use innovation to help us out, we have an opportunity actually to grow our business in this time. This is a little known fact. Yesterday was one of the biggest days of sales in our history. How does that happen? I thought, my gosh, we're going to have sales go down big time during this because people won't be able to afford to pay us. But guess what? Yesterday, one day, was one of the biggest days we've ever had. So that shows that there is interest in what we're doing, and if we can be innovative and provide opportunities or ways for people to see this, maybe our product is something that brings them help. And also, interaction. I mean, I see the importance of continuing a person-to-person interaction. People want interaction, you know? They want to interact. And when they're not allowed to, it makes them want it even more. So, I mean, you know, how many times can you watch Family Feud or, you know, The Price is Right or whatever you do at home, watch movies? You know, Disney had it down. You know, Disney comes out, pushes out new movies so that you'll get, the Disney streaming. That's smart because people are going to be at home and they're looking for things to do. So I think engaging people, engaging our funeral homes in new and innovative ideas is going to be the way to go. But I also want to say that because our company over time has had financial success, we're now prepared for a situation like this. If it goes on for a few months, I'll tell you, Rob, I think we'll still make money this year. If it goes on for several months, we might lose money. We never have, but we may lose money in this year. If we do, I think having 1 year out of 36 that we don't make money is pretty good type. I mean, if I'm looking at that in the Dow Jones, that's never happened, 1 out of 36 years. So we've got the cash and the capital available to take care of our company for the long term. So we're not going to do anything stupid. We simply want to be innovative and wise. You know, we want to use the wisdom and the brain that God gave us to make some good decisions at what's considered a very difficult time.
That's an excellent point, using innovation and technology, because, you know, I've heard some things that have been happening lately, and I understand that we have a plan.
Right.
Working on a plan that involves the implementation of technology in order to continue serving our policyholders and in order to continue serving our funeral home clients,
right.
Even through this and beyond, even through further steps.
Right. You know, I don't know of anyone who thinks we're not going to get through this. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But we get short-sighted sometimes when we listen to the media and we continue to hear bad news and such. Our mind starts thinking for the worst rather than saying, hey, there's going to be an opportunity when we get out of this, when we get out of it. It's not if, it's when. But it will happen. And when that time comes, I think we want to be prepared, and we want to be at the lead of this rather than someone who's hunkered down totally and not done anything innovative to work into the situation and to assist families and to assist our funeral home clients in how they can remain in business and actually grow their business at some point.
And we're even actually starting to get some feedback from funeral homes on the use of that technology, which
right.
I think is fantastic.
Yeah. You know, it's funny, as I said, we had a meeting with our regional sales vice presidents this morning because everyone was concerned that they're not able to get together and go out and see funeral homes. And, you know, some funeral homes are concerned about our sales management team visiting them. But all of us use our devices. And if we can use including our potential policyholders and funeral homes, I don't know a single funeral home owner that doesn't have a smartphone. Mm-hmm. And I'm telling you, we can use these phones, we can use technology to our advantage, particularly in times like this.
Well, Chris, we've talked about a lot of good things here, and I know there are concerns that a lot of people have had, but is there anything you would like to say to kind of wrap things up?
Yeah, absolutely, Rob, and I appreciate the opportunity because, we are a company that attempts in every way to do things based on Christian principles. And that's a big deal. And again, if you're not fully into being a Christian person, it still works fine because Christian principles are core to being just a good person, to having integrity and honesty and ethics in the way you do things. And so I think that's important to note. But as part of that, and I think people who know us and know our heart well, we are here to serve. We take a servant leadership position. And so it's important, again, to understand, remember, when you walk up the steps of our building and you walk in the door of our building, you see a carving of Jesus washing the feet of a disciple. And that's what I get to see every day when I walk into the office. I get to see Jesus washing the feet of a disciple. And it's telling me that I'm here to serve and not be served. I'm here to be a servant leader. I'm not here to be a person who's going to take advantage of situations or to be a dictator in the way we handle things. I'm here to, in every way possible, and our leadership team all believes the same, that we're here to serve our people. We're here to serve our customers. And I think with that mentality, it's caused us to think in this situation differently than maybe other companies have. And I hope that comes through with what we've been talking about today, is that we care. We want to serve our clients. This is a time where we have to come together. We have to link arms and say, we're going to get through this. Now, take it back. We can't link arms anymore. But we can be close enough together, But the point of that is, this is the time when we come together and we stand up and we say, we're not going to let this define us. We are going to figure out ways in which we can come through this stronger. And we can be better for the actions we've taken during this current crisis. So I just wanted to say that to kind of conclude everything and wrap it all up. This is based on the fact that we started with values, the values of Christian principles that have led us to make good decisions that hopefully will benefit our employees and our customers.
I'm glad you did share that. Thank you very much, Chris. I'm sure you've addressed a lot of questions that I know that I've heard, and I think you've done it in a great way. But I want to encourage people too, you watching, if you do have further questions, Chris has made himself available. If you would like to email him directly, with your questions and your concerns, he will individually address each of those. And if you'd like to email me and just have some comments about the show or have some other ideas about show topics that you'd like to see, feel free to do that too. Both of our emails are located at the bottom of the screen. Thanks for watching.